My name is Art Tyndall. When I was younger, I used to love to sit around and just draw pictures of cars and pretty girls and, and just doodle. I worked for Carrier Corporation for a lot of years. And then the year I turned 50, I just suddenly decided I wanted to do something else, and I went down to the local little art store we had and bought a little old kit. Started painting pictures, and I've been painting ever since. Oh, I live in eastern North Carolina. I paint eastern North Carolina, and a lot of swamps and lakes and boats and just anything I want to paint, really. I come in and I sit down and I paint something, and then I'll sit back and I'll look at that thing and I'll just think, well, dog, did I do that? And it's just really fulfilling,
Art Tyndall is part of a much larger community of artists living and creating in Beaufort County. They do all kinds of art, from music and dance to painting and pottery to opera and plays. In Beaufort County, Washington is the main hub for the arts, and the historic Turnage Theater is the arts hub in Washington.
That structure creates a centerpiece for the arts in downtown Washington. So when those lights are on, it signals vibrancy and economic growth and potential, life.
The arts contribute to about $14 million annually to Beaufort County's economy and sustain more than 400 jobs. Statewide, the impact is just over $2 billion and 72,000 jobs. The arts also generate more than $200 million in tax revenue that goes back to state and local governments.
Every person in the state of North Carolina spends about $136 on the arts. That might be through attending events, purchasing art forms, supporting artists in their local communities, but it helps sustain our economic health in the state.
The direct economic impact comes from things like people buying tickets to performances at the Turnage Theater or going to a local art gallery to buy a painting or have one framed. They can do both of those things at Lone Leaf Gallery and Custom Framing downtown. Meredith Lachlan and her husband Neil opened the gallery in 2009.
Because we wanted to own a business, and this is a great town to own a business in.
The Lachlans met in the Fine Arts program of East Carolina University. They lived and worked in Raleigh before moving to Washington to open their business.
Because it's small, there are not already multiple people doing the same thing. So I knew that there was a need for a custom framer who had really fine craftsmanship and knowledge of art and design.
But Washington's arts community was also a draw.
I think the arts community is very active. I think it's always been very active. I'm from here, and I always just knew that if you were interested in the arts, there was something that you could do here. We never would have opened a gallery in custom framing if there hadn't already been a seed started, because it's a big investment, and if you know that the art community is thriving, then you know that there will be a need for your service.
While the Lachlans Gallery is an example of the direct impact of the arts on Beaufort County's economy, there are also indirect economic impacts. Those come from businesses and services that support the arts.
I've been in the food industry my whole life.
Chrislyn Weatherin's father was a chef. She followed his recipe for a career.
And wound up opening a beautiful little foodery here in Washington, North Carolina. We sell homemade prepared foods, everything from your southern comfort foods to an eclectic international flavor.
Carryout by Chrislyn's business is split between selling prepared meals and catering. She says nearly 30% of her business is arts related, mostly catering receptions at the Turnage Theater.
You feel the difference when an art activity is going on in the area. Customers will come in as they're preparing for the different types of art events. So it's not only in the catering aspect, but just people coming into the neighborhood, buying lunches, salads, dinners.
Weatherin says she's depending on a growing arts community to grow her business.
The impact of having people excited about Washington coming to visit our town, the tourism, feeling as though there's a spirit and a passion and excitement here in Washington.
It does bring people to the community to look at the community that might not have come otherwise.
And those people contribute to the other indirect economic impact of the arts.
When people attend events, they don't just come to that event. They do things in the community.
What we've learned is that the arts generate income for lodging, for restaurants, for tourism.
The arts can also have a longer-term economic impact.
That we have a strong creative economy is very attractive to those that are looking for places they want to live or retire.
Or to work. Economic developers say the arts can help them in their efforts to recruit companies to locate in a community and hire workers.
The arts adds a texture to the community that I don't think we would have otherwise, a depth.
A lot of businesses and industries, when they're looking to relocate, are looking for communities that have viable, active, dynamic arts cultures.
For Beaufort County's arts community to continue to grow and thrive, it needs local government leaders to understand those economic returns.
My hope is that all the art galleries will continue to thrive and that we can help them to do that we grow all the outdoor activities and art opportunities, not just in Washington, but across the county.
And that growth also depends on all of us supporting the arts and artists like Art Tyndall.
So it's just kind of muting all the colors down where there's not anything at all bright involved. Wherever there's art, there's people coming to see the art. This is a thriving little community from an art standpoint.